What's good, YouTube? Quasar here. Today I'm going to be bringing you guys my ABC deck profile, and this is the pure rank 4 version. If you haven't seen the other version I made with the Galaxy Soldiers, the link will be in the description below. But anyways, let's just jump right into the deck profile. So it's pretty much the same standard thing. You're going to obviously be playing 3 copies of A Assault Core. Basically 19 beater, which is really good. If it equips to another union, that monster is unaffected by monster effects. Then if it's sent to the graveyard, you're gonna be adding a card from your graveyard back to your hand. You don't usually want to pull that effect off because you want your ABCs in the graveyard in order to banish for your Buster Dragon. But anyways, you definitely have to play this at 3. Next, of course, obviously, same thing, 3 of the B Buster Drake. So it makes whatever it's equipped to unaffected by spells. Then when it's sent to the graveyard, you get to add 1 from deck to hand. So that one you usually want to be doing so you can just keep replenishing your hand with the ABCs. And then 3 copies of Sea Crush Wyvern. So this one makes it unaffected by trap cards, and then when it's sent to grave, you get to special summon 1 of the other ABCs from your hand. So that one you also kind of use fairly often too, to just maintain your field presence. And then now, instead of playing the Galaxy Soldiers, we play 3 copies of Photon Thrasher. It's a warrior instead of a machine, but it's also a light, so you still get to go into Tsukiyomi along with all of your other basic rank 4s. You basically special summon it when you control no monsters. The not being able to attack thing doesn't really affect you. You're mostly just going to be using it as fodder for your XZ summons. Pretty much the same standard lineup though. We're going with 2 gold gadget and then 2 silver gadget as well, just to keep your ABCs coming as well. Opening like a gadget, one of your ABCs and Thrasher is actually pretty amazing because you get to special your Thrasher, normal the gadget, and then special summon whatever ABC union you have in your hand. And then you can start doing your XZ summoning and going from there. And then, of course, last 2 monsters, Max C, obviously got to be maining it because still the best hand trap in the game. That's it for monsters. That's 18 monsters. Moving on to the spells. Again, it's pretty straightforward. We want to be playing the 3 copies of Union Hanger because the deck relies so heavily on it. Whenever you activate it, you get to add 1 of your ABCs from your deck to your hand. And then whenever you normal or special summon a light machine monster, you get to equip 1 of the ABCs from your deck onto that monster. So that's really helpful in order to not only protect some of your monsters, but also like you can equip, and then you can just use that monster that's equipped as overlay material, just send that piece to the graveyard as fodder for your Buster Dragon. So because we rely so heavily on it, we obviously play 3 copies of Terraforming. You know, we also are playing Pot of Desire, so you're assuming that some of the pieces are going to get banished. That's why you just play 3 of each, and you just want to get to it as soon as possible. 3 copies of Pot, you know, it's a super expensive card, but the reason is because it gives you a +1. It's still a great card. The banishing 10 doesn't really matter because you're playing pretty much 3 of everything. Basically, the only one-ofs I'm playing are Rhoda, Regeki, Vanities, and Solemn Warning. So, like, I mean, yeah, it's possible you might banish those one-ofs, but it's highly, highly unlikely you're going to be banishing all 3 copies of a certain card. The reason I do play 3, though, is because you probably will end up banishing at least one of the other ones. So you're probably going to be pulling off two of these in a duel, which is banishing 20 cards. It may seem kind of ridiculous, but it's actually really good just to get those draws into those combo pieces. One copy of Rhoda, one copy of Regeki. Rhoda just to search your Photon Thrasher, and Regeki to nuke boards. And then lastly for spells, we play 3 copies of Twin Twister just because you need to get rid of back row in order to complete all of your combos. And being able to ditch your ABCs into the graveyard as well just with Twin Twister is actually helpful because, again, it's just fodder, right? So that's it for the spell cards, and now we move on to the traps. 3 copies of Anti-Spell. This card is still insanely broken. Basically flipping this on your opponent's turn along with having like ABC Buster Dragon on board and then like F-Zero. It's pretty much GG from there because they will have an insanely hard time outing that board. 1 copy of Vanity's Emptiness, 1 copy of Solemn Warning. I mean, they're both at 1. They're both really good cards. I really like Vanities because it actually protects your monsters from the opponent's kaijus. So that's really helpful there. And then, of course, stopping their special summons as well is just nuts. Solemn Warning, just another way to out some problematic monsters that your opponent would summon. And last but not least, your 3 copies of Solemn Strike, just because it's probably one of the best counter traps in the game. So that's it for the main deck. Most of it's really similar, pretty much the same as the rank 5 version. You just basically get rid of the Galaxy Soldier, you get rid of the Transmodify, you throw in Photon Thrasher. I added an extra copy of Terraforming, and then I added the Rhoda just to search out your Photon Thrasher. But really, those are the only changes I made. Extra deck lineup's also still almost the same. You still want to be playing your 3 copies of ABC Buster Dragon because this card is just downright ridiculous. Being able to discard a card in order to banish a card is pretty nuts. And then also tributing it to special summon your ABC from your banish zone is still really good. So it can out things that target it, and then you can just build up a defensive wall if you need to, or throw them in attack mode and have them attack as well. I'm playing F-Zero. This card is still just like ridiculous. It's so nuts to be able to drop this after you've used up, like, for example, a Castel or a Dark Rebellion XZs, because those monsters do require you to detach both of your XZ's materials from it. So it's basically a dead XZ's monster on field after, so you might as well just use them as material for your F-Zero. Tsukiyomi is probably the first XZ's monster you're going to want to be going into, just because you want to be able to ditch your ABCs from your hand, and then hopefully you can draw into some of those traps to disrupt your opponent. Girgian X is also really good just because you get to add one of your ABCs or a gadget from your deck to your hand. Whatever you find will be the most helpful for that certain situation. Dark Rebellion XZs just to absorb a monster's attack and then deal a direct 2500. Castel to out some problematic cards. 101 just to absorb something. Gaga for that 800 burn. Abyss Dweller is to help stop your opponent from using graveyard effects. Diamond Dire Wolf. Basically, this is another monster you can use just to dump like your ABCs in the graveyard. If you use like A and B, B or C, whatever, you're basically tributing itself with its effect in order to pop a card, so you're getting all those pieces into the graveyard again. And then for my last three monsters is, of course, the Utopia lineup. Having Utopia the Lightning, just being able to use its effect twice, really broken. It becomes a 5k beater, can pretty much get over anything. So that's really good. You want to be going into this guy too, because he pretty much seals games. Anyways, that was my rank 4 version of the ABCs. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.